Hello, my fellow Americans. Today is the New Hampshire primary, the Democratic New Hampshire primary. I actually went into this a little bit pessimistic because when I first looked at it, it showed like Amy Klobuchar in the lead, but now it's at this moment, as we speak, at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's literally a tie between Pete Buttigieg and Bernie Sanders, 6-6. But I want to also talk about how Andrew Yang dropped out mid-primary. So, yeah, it says here that Andrew Yang got a total of 4,687 votes, which he doesn't have any delegates, but he dropped out. But, okay, I actually liked Andrew Yang, and I'm actually a little disappointed to see him gone. I actually liked him on the debate stage. I do want him to be, when Bernie Sanders wins and becomes president, I want to actually see him in the Bernie Sanders presidential administration. If not the Secretary of Treasury or something different. I don't know. Maybe Secretary Cool Kids, because doing all that skateboarding will certainly get some points with the younger kids. But I also want to talk about what I like about Andrew Yang, what I found a little bit and what the one thing I really didn't like, and I'm gonna try to read my own handwriting. Who the hell can read that? Policies of AY peace symbol, because I'm edgy like that. He supports the Green New Deal. That's awesome. Sort of like a hey, no brainer. Sort of like it's sort of like how Kaczynski said a deal breaker is if you voted for Iraq war, you're out. So yeah, but yeah, so that's another thing. He supports the Green New Deal. Yeah, if you don't support the Green New Deal, get out. He is very pro-LGBT. He wants to enact legislation that basically forbids discrimination against people with sexual identity or gender identity, which was one of the things that wasn't part of the 1964 Civil Rights Act, because, gay people were sort of well, we can't discriminate against blacks or women, so why don't we discriminate against homosexuals? So he supports the DREAM Act. Yeah, he supports the DREAM Act, and it protects migrants who, you can't control what your parents do. He wants to. It says reset of the relationship with Saudi Arabia. Because of their genocide in Yemen, and he supports NATO, and he's not one of these. And when it comes to foreign policy, he's not an anti-Israeli kind of person. He also wants to where is it? He wants to return the power to declare war to Congress if elected. And he talks about, cybersecurity. He wants a two-state solution, which I do support. I'm very pro-Israel, but, if we have to have a solution that makes peace, I'm willing to do a two-state solution. And he definitely calls out Iran for being a destabilizing force in the region, which they are, but he also condemned leaving the Iran nuclear deal. And he's also against, he's against provoking aggression with Iran, which goes against John F. Kennedy's words. What we're doing in Iran is basically goes against these words by President Kennedy.
I pledge you that we shall neither commit nor provoke aggression, that we shall neither flee nor invoke the threat of force, that we shall never negotiate out of fear, and we shall never fear to negotiate.
He is also pro-choice, believes that women have the right to choose, that he respects the women's right to privacy, and he would appoint pro-choice voters. Pro-choice judges. Pro-choice voters. I need meds. It's too bad I don't have health care. He supports ranked choice voting. Quote, Each voter ranks their top 3 candidates. If one candidate received over 50% of the vote, they win the election. If no candidate hits the majority threshold, the candidate with the fewest votes is eliminated. Then everyone who listed that eliminated candidate as their first choice has their second choice considered. A process which continues until someone breaks 50%, unquote. He says it will lead to higher turnout, better capture voter preferences, allow for more moderate candidates, and lower levels of negative campaigning. He's also he proposes to end partisan gerrymandering, which way happens too much. And I'm for that, whether it's done by Democrats or Republicans, although I've seen it many times be done by Republicans, especially in North Carolina. Yeah, he's against corruption and bureaucracy. He actually supports the legalizing of weed and a decriminalization of opioids, including heroin, for personal use. However, he does not support legalization or decriminalization of cocaine. He cited the drug policy of Portugal as evidence of the potential effectiveness of his drug policy. He planned to pardon all prisoners serving sentences for low-level, non-violent drug offenses, and would, quote, high-five them on their way out of jail. That's a lot of high-fiving. By the time he's done, it's like, okay, Mr. President, you're done high-fiving. He's like, I can't feel my hand. Honey, I can't feel my hand. What happened? he has some very common sense gun control. He's not for getting rid of guns, but he is for common sense. Especially restricting the ability of people with a history of violence, domestic abuse, or violent mental illness to acquire firearms. Like common sense people. And the grandfathering of current gun owners and offering a one-time good gun owner tax credit. They have no idea what that means, but okay. Another thing I liked, ranked choice voting, declaring war. Yeah, he has a lot of, the Green New Deal, yeah, he's for climate change. There's a couple things that I'm sort of about, and, higher education. He wants, in regards to student loan debts, he's proposed reducing student loan burden, although that doesn't necessarily say get rid of all the debt, which, for me, it's sort of like a, because Bernie here is saying, hey, get rid of all student loans, and this is someone who doesn't have any student loans, not that I paid them off, it's just I've never gone to college, but, when Bernie makes it tuition free, I will go to college. But the point is, he calls out Russia, and although I don't believe in starting any aggression with a country that has nuclear weapons, I also do believe in holding them accountable to their actions. But here's 3 things that I find a little bit okay. He supports the implementation of democracy dollars, where voting age citizens receive a $100 use it or lose it democracy voucher each year to give to candidates. I have no idea what that means. Voucher? Like, is it, I wonder if he means, like, you have $100, you can give it to a bunch of candidates, and you have to split it between the $100. I don't know. UBI. Now, I just don't know if that is actually possible. I don't hear any other countries. I don't hear any other countries doing UBI. Now, the reason why and yes, it's a matter of how do you pay for it, but I say that because, when they say how do you pay for universal health care and go the same way that every other country in Europe is doing it. No one, I don't think has anyone ever actually done universal based income or universal basic income or something like that? UBI? I don't know. And he said he's for eliminating the penny. Now, I don't know, like, why would he do that? Because they apparently say it's expensive and it's bad for the environment. Like, our pennies are expensive, environmental damage, and cost business time. He also wants to extend daylight savings time all year, which will, quote, decrease traffic accidents, heart attack, and crime. How will extending daylight savings time decrease heart attacks? Heart attacks are going to be happen no matter what. Like, what? And now here are two things I mentioned too, but as I was editing, I found this. He is for affirmative action. Now, I'm not a conservative, but I'm not for... Now, maybe affirmative action has been changed since then, but I don't believe in the affirmative action as in, like, hiring someone simply to fill out a diversity quota. Don't hire someone simply because they're black. Because what if they're black and you hire the person who's black just because they're black and they turn out to be horrible and it costs your company money? You know, don't do that. Don't hire someone simply because of some arbitrary characteristic. Vote on now. If by affirmative action you mean force companies to be more willing to hire people to be more diverse, then yes. But don't just hire someone just so that they can fill out some quota. And another thing, I think this is a little bit more cringy. He wants to lower the voting age to 16. Okay. Look, I am very supportive of my fellow young people, but when it comes, these youngsters are the same people who snort condoms and eat Tide Pods. No. Not saying that being 16 I'm not saying being 18 is any more mature than 16, but no. Wait till you're finished with high school and all the drama and emotions that go with that before you start voting. Not saying you can't put your opinion out there about the election. I'm not saying shut up, you're too young. If you can't vote, you can't say an opinion. But when you do that and that, the condoms and the Tide Pods and and come up with the words like yeet, sorry, you have to wait till you're 18. You wonder if Andrew Yang got the job, he would undo the thing about you have to be 21 to get stuff from a smoke or vape shop. Oh well, doesn't bother me because I don't smoke or vape, and even if I did, I'm 26. I actually was a little disappointed to see Andrew Yang drop out. My best friend, I trust her with my life. She actually supported Andrew Yang. She probably doesn't know, but she still supports him. And actually tried to she kept telling me repeatedly to look into Andrew Yang's record, and I did, and I actually did like what I had to see. But I still support Bernie because, you know, he's done so much for this country and just for everything. But I do want Andrew Yang to stay relevant. He has said that he does want to keep a future in politics. And I am for that, actually. I want him to stay relevant. I actually want him to be a part of this election. If not as a candidate, but just to keep his opinions known, tell us who he supported. He's actually said that his supporters, I'm not sure if he said that his supporters should go for Bernie or said that his supporters will go for Bernie. And there's a difference between that. But yeah. I was hoping that maybe it would be a tough challenge if it was between Andrew Yang and Bernie Sanders. And at first everyone was talking about how it was going to be a race between Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. But as Kyle Kulinski said, it's sort of like every time you hear him talk, the more you dislike him. You know, first he gets his name recognition because, oh, he was Obama's vice president. Even though you were only picked to appeal to white voters in 2008. But then you hear him talk like corn pop and my hairy legs and the sniffing and the lion pony soldier, and you're thinking, oh, handsy Uncle Joseph, more like crazy Uncle Joseph, demented Uncle Joseph. But now it's going to be a contest between Pete Buttigieg and Bernie Sanders. But everyone of the Yang Gang, including my best friend, please don't give up hope. You know, a lot of the policies that Andrew Yang spoke of, with the exception of UBI, Bernie Sanders speaks of it. Just have hope. As long as Bernie Sanders is in this race, we have hope. And like I said, I want him to be part of the Bernie administration. He might not. I don't know. But yeah, this is going to be a tough race. And I know people say this every single election. People say, this is the most important election of the year. This is the most important election of the year. 2012. This is the most important election of the year. Those pale compared to today. This is the most important election of our lifetime, whether we keep fascism or actually have populism for the people. So Yang Gang, I ask you to throw your support behind Bernie Sanders while also remembering the flag that you planted as Yang supporters and the skateboard that he rode on. I still remember that. He in a meeting just rolling on a skateboard, just, hey, I'm trying to be hip even though I'm 45 years old. Yeah. And I'm not making fun of him. I actually like that. Everyone just stay calm, stay progressive, and remember,
this is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.